What are you reading?
The Outsiders.
It's not my thing.
Young folks with outsized powers traveling the world, knocking bad guys on their asses.
Hey everybody, this is going to be my Black Lightning Episode 3 video. Read any good Batman and the Outsiders comics recently? This is the actual comic that they flashed in the episode, probably because the character, Lady Eve, is a part of that story and she debuted as a character in the episode. This is the person playing Lady Eve, so obviously it's a little bit different from what they did during the Outsiders comic book. Bunch of comic book costumes, bunch of names thrown around like Supergirl. That threw everybody for a loop. They're like, wait a minute, how's this connected to all those other shows if they're name dropping people like Supergirl? So I'll try to explain, what that means for the world of the show and what possibly exists, like the way that they're treating it. There's also a new round of that Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter, just be a subscriber and share the video using those tools on the watch page. Totally love that hygiene PSA that Black Lightning gave to her daughter's boyfriend before he almost lost the ability to walk, apparently by the end of the episode. So feel kind of bad for him. Probably not what he was talking about when he said that he and his daughter should probably pump the brakes on their relationship. But most of you who have been following the Black Lightning series probably know about the Grace Choi character from the comics. So in the Outsiders comic books, Black Lightning's older daughter, Thunder, is in a relationship with Grace Choi, who's an Amazon, so obviously that's a little bit different. They're going a little more real world with this. So unless there's some trickery going on in the series, she's not going to develop powers. It's just going to be Thunder, and they'll eventually start going out. I think that was kind of the idea of the episode, is that they slowly form a bond. She breaks up with her other girlfriend. The funny thing about the bar that she works at, the Ruby Red Lipstick Bar, great lesbian pun, is that when she's name-dropping their cosplay party, she's like, you can dress up as anybody, like Supergirl. She dresses up like Catwoman. Grace Choi is dressed up like the Halo character, who's also part of the Outsiders team in the comics. So all that talk about costumes is probably just to tee up the idea of Anissa creating her own comic book costume for the Thunder persona, regardless of when she decides to take that name. It'll be interesting to see, because they don't have a Cisco on this TV show to give people comic book names, it'll be funny to see how she goes about calling herself Thunder and which person gives her that name. But I'm guessing it's either going to be Black Lightning himself or it's going to be the Grace Choi character, because usually the person that gives them the name is somebody that's really close to them, either in an emotional way or a relationship, like Lois Lane is the person that gives Clark Kent the Superman name. But as for connectedness to the larger superhero community, I think when she name-dropped Supergirl as a cosplay option, she was talking about comic book Supergirl, because comic books exist in this world, like she literally holds up a comic book, so I think that's what she was talking about. I don't think there's an actual Supergirl that exists on whatever Earth that Black Lightning is taking place on in the multiverse. So for now, remember there are 53 Earths in the DC TV universe as far as we know. So I'm just guessing the Black Lightning is on a separate Earth where there is no Green Arrow, there is no Flash, there is no Superman or Supergirl. So the other kind of funny storyline that ends up in a really tragic way is the other daughter, Lightning. That's her name from the comics. So it's going to get confusing talking about Black Lightning, then talking about Lightning. Like, which one are you talking about? So the younger daughter just like flat out has that funny conversation where she's like, I'm totally going to be doing it this weekend. This is the time and date exactly that I'm going to be getting it on with my boyfriend. Obviously, it didn't go down that way, but you can kind of see that they're creating the need for her to be a superhero too. Like, they want her to go through this tragedy and realize why it's so important that people stand up for what they believe in. That's why it was so important that his daughters watch Black Lightning take down those criminals at the end of the episode. Like, oh wow, they're seeing this person and it's inspiring to them. Like, the older daughter is already on the tipping point of becoming a superhero. She has that long conversation. The younger daughter is just at an earlier stage of that. In fact, like, we don't know when she's going to get her powers, but she will get powers eventually. Before we knew that the boyfriend was going to lose the ability to walk almost, I was actually thinking that maybe having sex would partially activate those powers, because usually, like in the classic comics, especially like X-Men and groups with like a whole bunch of really young people that develop powers, it becomes kind of a metaphor for their sexuality. So like anytime a teenage superhero just suddenly hits a certain age, they get superpowers. It's kind of like a metaphor for them becoming sexually active and all these biological systems powering on that aren't there when you're much, much younger. We're really only in episode 3 at this point. Next week's episode is actually called Black Jesus, so I'm guessing that it'll probably be the end of the season or the last couple of episodes before we see Thunder in that comic book costume. They teased her maybe telling her mother about her powers, but she sort of shies away from that. Eventually, they're gonna find out. Like Grace Choi's whole big speech about how being a superhero is lonely is just the tip-off that, yeah, Black Lightning will find out. Then separately, Grace Choi will probably find out, so Thunder will have her own small little cell team around her before she actually starts doing stuff with Black Lightning. Because it sounds like she's going to try and be a superhero on her own before her family finds out. So anytime there's a long conversation about how it sucks to be a superhero because you can't tell people your identity, it's just foreshadowing for people close to her eventually finding out so she won't be lonely. The real WTF at the end of the episode, though, is Peter Gamby deleting the footage of Tobias Whale so that Black Lightning won't see it. Like he says, "Sorry, Jefferson." I don't think that's because he's working for Tobias Whale. I think it's because he likes what Black Lightning is doing, helping clean up the community, and if he sees Tobias Whale, he might make a beeline for him before he's ready. Like you take on Darth Vader before you're ready to fight him. Like Empire Strikes Back, you don't want Black Lightning to get one of his hands chopped off. You could actually make a couple Star Wars references too, because he keeps stabbing people in their hands. So it'll be interesting to see if he tries to stab Black Lightning in one of his hands. You also get a little more of the police department being really upset with Black Lightning. The police chief is adamant that he's not on their payroll, but he doesn't fight the Reverend when he says that the cops are corrupt. So we'll probably find out who some of those dirty cops are pretty soon. But there are 13 episodes, remember. This is really just the beginning of the season. But let me know in the comments if you spotted any other big Easter eggs that I didn't mention in the video. Just let me know what you think of the show so far. Music is fantastic, as always. And speaking of Supergirl stuff, because I didn't do a Supergirl video, they actually did the full-on Lexo suit. They just teased it last season. I was waiting for somebody to actually put it on. So maybe we'll get to see it again eventually, but they also dropped a Computo Brainiac Easter egg, and they name-dropped Superman again. But, because of what's going on in the movies and the fact that they're ramping up for Man of Steel 2, and Henry Cavill is going to be featured in a lot of the upcoming DC movies, I think the TV people are being forced to dial it way back on the idea of Superman in a costume on TV, despite the fact that they have the new Superman prequel series that they're developing for the DC streaming service. I've already done a video explaining what's going on with that TV show, so I'll post a link at the end of the video. Congratulations to the giveaway winner from my last video, Ibsy. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. I'll just name a new winner when I post a new DC video. So all kinds of comic book stuff dropping this week. Click here to learn all about Flash War in that brand new Flash trailer, and you can click here for that video about the Metropolis TV series. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.